My next guest is a web and brand developer. She creates website while also providing graphic design and branding services for small business owners. Please welcome Glory Muñoz. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Ana Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I am here with a very special guest. Her name is Glory, and she is just amazing. And I'm just so excited to have her here today. Hi, Glory.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Really excited of the things that are to come.
Yes, me too. I'm so honored that you're here, that you're taking the time to talk to me today. Tell us more about who you are, what you do, how amazing you are.
Well, thank you, Anna, for inviting me into your headquarters. And this is, hey, you're a queen. You're doing your thing, and I really appreciate that you've taken the time as well to stay here with me and to be able to share with your audience. I am Glory Muñoz. I am from Puerto Rico. I've lived in the United States since I was the age of 6. And I've always been into the creative market. Ever since I can remember, I was always creating, designing, doing fun and amazing things. Like even throughout high school, elementary school, college, I was always signing up for the art classes. It's always something that's been very deep within my blood and my roots. And so, something that I always wanted to implement as growing up, and ever since I could remember, I always said, when I grow up, I want to be someone that has fun going to work. And so, something that stuck to me for the longest was I didn't want to do a job that would take away from that, but add value to that. And so I did work with corporate jobs and contract jobs. And one of the last jobs that I worked and had the privilege of working with was in a real estate firm. I met amazing women and men in that industry. And it just so happened that after I believe about 3 to 4 months into the position, I started feeling like this wasn't for me. And so I don't know if it's ever happened to you, Anna, that you're doing something
Yeah.
and you kind of feel that love for it. It's like you're doing it because you've committed to doing it, but you're not 100% invested in it. And so it came the time, like one day I was literally just meditating and I felt something. I felt the Holy Spirit to tell me, if you're not happy, just quit. I was like, quit? Like, how are you gonna just quit? Because you don't quit. But at that moment in time and in my space, in my bubble, I felt that it was a time for me to quit, in the sense of quit having people tell me what to do, quit having people tell me how I should be doing things, and take responsibility of what I wanted to do and how I could help others. And so it was important for me to feel that when I wake up in the morning, I'm excited because I'm going to help an amazing entrepreneur or business owner get their branding, get their website, help them out with their social media. And that was something that once I started to do that again, I felt alive. And it's
Yeah.
crazy how we tend to feel so bogged down when we are in these corporate jobs, because if you really look at it, you kind of turn into a robot. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you get dressed, you have your breakfast, you grab your lunch, you head out the door, you go to work, you clock in, clock out. That's not fun. So what better way to do something that you're passionate about, and at the end of the day you can look back and say, shoot, I did that. I helped so and so with their branding. I created that logo, or I created that color story, or I did that website. And so for me, those are the moments that are, for me, aha moments, are moments that I'm like, this is what I was created for. This is what it was meant to be. And so that is something that I really enjoy. And it's not a job, it's a passion, because when you're doing something you're passionate about, you're not working. You're kind of enjoying what it is that you're doing. People tend to think, oh, but you've only been in with your business for 3 years. Yes, I've been with my business for 3 years, but I have an associate's from Broward College and I have a bachelor's from University of Central Florida. So I do have the scholars to back up my experience, but at the end of the day, I also have experience within the field to back up what it is that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not, oh girl, I learned this in the garage of my house or the basement. No, it was blood, sweat, and tears. And believe me, when I say tears, some nights were like, I would cry trying to figure out how to work a program to make a website work. And so it is something that is amazing, but at the end of the day, it all has a reward
Yeah.
and there's a compensation to it.
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. I feel like we all go through those phases of like, no, like I'm going to follow my passion. I'm going to do what really speaks to my soul. Like I don't want to settle. Like I feel like every single powerful leader who listens to this have been through some kind of situation like that. So they will definitely relate to what you're saying for sure.
Yes.
So tell us more about, the way you grew up and like, did you imagine you'd be here doing what you do today?
No, because growing up, I was taught that I had to go to school,
Mm-hmm.
get an education, and go and work for corporate America.
Mm.
And so I've kind of flipped the script in my house. And so flipping that script hasn't been easy, because I've gotten the comments of, you need a real job, or this is not real. And
Yeah.
honestly, with all due respect, like I've worked in corporate jobs and I've worked in regular 9 to 5 jobs. It is so much harder to have your own business
Mm-hmm.
than just go to a corporate job, clock in at 9, clock out at 5, and you're done.
Exactly.
But when you own a business, you're eating, breathing everything about your business. You're making choices that will reflect your business, not just now, but in the future. And it's something, for me, I don't have children, but it's something that I would love to leave as a legacy for my children when I do have children.
Mm-hmm.
Working in corporate America, you get old, you're not producing, they can easily fire you. In my business, I called the shots,
Yeah.
and I can work whenever I want, wherever I want, from wherever I want, hire who I want. And so it's so different, but at the same time, the responsibility is much higher and the demand is so much higher.
Yeah.
But when you look back, the reward is even greater, because when you reach those
Yes.
milestones that you set up for yourself, you say, dang, I did that. If you really look at it, when you work in corporate America, you're just a number to them.
Yep.
They don't tell you, girl, you did that, you got us there. No. The bosses, the big heads say, we got this, we did this, this is where we got.
Yep.
They don't mention you. They don't give you credit when credit is due. Growing up in a country that is my second language, being a Latina,
Yeah.
we have so many traditions and so many things that you celebrate back in your country, but
Yeah.
here they don't celebrate that those things are not acknowledged. And so you kind of tend to mold yourself out of a shell of being Hispanic, Latino, a different race, an American race. I mean, learning English for me was a nightmare. I got made fun of while I was growing up. And so it that was like trauma.
Wow.
But even though like those things were difficult, I still thank my mom that she decided to remove us from our Hispanic heritage and bring us to another heritage that we learned and we made it our own.
Mm-hmm.
It gave us the opportunity to reach other opportunities that may
Mm.
have not been available to us had she
Yeah.
kept us in the same environment. A lot of times, you kind of have to remove yourself from the environment that you're in to flourish. So
Yeah.
if you feel, man, I feel stagnant, I don't feel nothing's going on, hey, maybe it's time to remove yourself from an area so that wherever it is that you're going to move yourself to, you will flourish and you'll take on another meaning and add different values to your life. And so those things were hard, were very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so the crazy part was when my mom decided that she wanted to come to the US, it was for a 2 week vacation.
Oh, wow.
It was around Christmas. My birthday's in December. So I was like, dang, I don't want to I get it. We're going to celebrate Christmas. She sold the idea that we were going to see snow. So as soon as we got out of the airport, that we go outside. It was snowing. There was a snowstorm, and I was like, "Okay, Mom, we saw the snow. Can we go back home?" 2 weeks turned into a month, and then all of a sudden, she scheduled me to start school, and I was like, "I guess we're not going back home." I got made fun of. Oh, this is the Puerto Rican girl. She don't speak English. Blah blah blah. Like it
Wow.
was like kids back in the day. They were mean,
Mm-hmm.
but looking at it from a perspective of now, looking back at that younger self, I turned out pretty dang good. Like I did it. I got there. I mean, it may have been a few fumbles, falls here and there, but I made it. I made it through. I've learned the language, and a lot of times, a lot of people think that I'm a gringa. I'm like, you don't speak Spanish. You don't even have an accent. And I was like, that's a compliment. That's an amazing
Yeah.
compliment to be told by someone that there's no way that I could be Hispanic because I don't have
Yeah.
a an accent.
Honestly, your English is perfect.
Thank you, thank you. It's something that I put in the work. And that's with anything that we want. We got to put in the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Honestly, you're just so amazing. Like, I just love like your energy and who you are and how expressive you are. And oh my gosh, I just love hearing your stories for sure.
And you know what's crazy, Anna? Like when I was in high school, I was the introvert.
What?
Like, yes, girl, I was that bubble kid. I had two friends all throughout high school. Like people say, how the heck can that possibly be? Like you are so outspoken. One of my teachers asked me, "What are you going to be once you get out of once you get out of high school? What's the profession that you're going to choose?" And I was like, "I'm going to be a lawyer." Yeah, I was like, "I'm going to be a lawyer." One of my uncles just started laughing. He's like, "How the heck you going to be a lawyer? You don't even speak. Like you don't talk to nobody. Lawyers need to speak." And so that always stuck in
Hmm.
my head. And so the first semester that I registered in college, I took speech. And I was like, oh my
Mm.
God, how am I going to do this class? I'm an introvert. I don't speak. I like, unless I'm spoken to, I'll speak to you and I'll answer. Other than that, you don't hear a peep or a squeak out of me. And so I was like, I'm gonna accept the challenge. And it's crazy that I took that class and none of the speeches I wrote them. Like, the teacher asked me, like, after the semester was done, he's like, you were an incredible student, you're amazing, you're a natural. And I'm like, I'm a natural? Do you realize how nervous I was? Like, I had to picture you all naked so that I could do these speeches. And he's like, well, you've exceeded my expectations, and can I just ask you for a copy of your speeches? And I was like, Professor, I didn't write none of them.
What?
He's like, what? And I said, yes, I didn't write none of them. And he goes, is there a reasoning behind it? And I said, yes. The reason why I didn't write none of the speeches was because I didn't want my eyes to be glued to the paper. And one of the things that you told us was that we had to engage our audience. And in order to engage your audience and bring them into whatever it is that you're sharing, it comes across a lot better when you're sharing without reading. Because when you're reading, you take a lot more pauses and you mess up a lot more. He's like, wow, that is so true. And so that's something that stuck to me. And after that class, I was no longer timid. Like, I still do get my nervousness, which I think that's normal for everybody. But now I'm just like, let's do it. Like, when I got approached to do the panel for the women entrepreneurs that we were both part of,
Yeah.
I literally was like, I'm not gonna do that. No. No. And then I was like, it was literally like, Anna, literally, I had like a little character on one side of my shoulder and another one on the other side is like, oh, you could do it. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. And like, and literally that song, that oh no, 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 no,
Oh,
no, like
no.
that came to mind. And I was like, you know what? People don't know my story. If I mess up, they're not gonna know because they don't have what I'm gonna share about. So whatever it is that I share will be good enough.
Yes.
I said yes to her and I sent her my information and I shared it with my friends. One of my friends was like, are you nervous? And I said, do you want the truth or do you want the lie? And she's like, of course I want the truth. And I said, girl, I'm freaking out. I've never been on a panel. I don't even know what I'm going to do. Like,
Can I just say something?
yeah.
You were amazing on the panel.
Girl, I was so nervous.
Honestly, it didn't look like it. Like, you were really natural. You took your time. You responded with confidence. Like, I was like, ooh, who's that girl? I need to be friends with her.
No, girl, like one of my friends saw it because I sent the link to my friends. I was like, I need you to watch this and I need you to tell me how I perform. And everybody was like, girl, you killed it. And I'm like, and
Yeah.
you killed it. You killed it. And I was like, all right, cool, cool, cool. And one of my friends was like, honestly, truthfully, like, how did you feel? I was like, honestly, it was an amazing feeling to be in a panel
Yeah.
with such powerful women. And I was looking
Yes.
at myself, I was like, girl, you in here, you're doing your thing. And I was like, and literally, it's funny that you say that I pace myself because literally my leg was like twitching and I was like, Lottie, calm yourself. Those things are amazing opportunities that
Yeah.
if I would have been scared, I would have missed out on the possibility of getting to know you, getting to know the
Yeah.
other panelists. The fear of wanting to hide behind the shadows is something that makes you
Mm-hmm.
smaller. And honestly, if you have a light, why don't you let it shine? You know?
Yeah,
Why are you going to put your light behind something that's only gonna dumb it down when you're meant to shine?
exactly.
You know, not everybody has what I have. Not everybody has what you have,
Mm-hmm.
Anna. And something that someone told me was you need to share what it is that you have because only you can make the recipe for your
Oh,
concoction.
this is so good.
Nobody else can make nobody else can make it. And so if you have something that you have to share, you don't know who's going to be on the other end to receive
Mm-hmm.
that. And so a lot of times we say, no, I don't want to do it. I'm good. But are you good? Or are you just dumbing it down so that you feel comfortable?
Mm.
And honestly, a diamond is not comfortable going through fire. If a diamond is comfortable, then it's really not a diamond, it's just a rock, you know? And so for a diamond to become a diamond, it has to be polished, it has to be put through flames so that those impurities can come out. And so those impurities and those adversities for us are challenges that make us who we are so that we can shine
Yeah,
for others to receive what it is that we've learned for through the obstacles that we've gone through.
yeah.
Yes, those obstacles are hard. Yes, those lessons are dang painful. Like, what did that happen to me? But are you going to go through a pity party or are you going to suck it up and keep it moving?
Yes. Oh
So,
my gosh,
yeah.
girl, amen. You are so amazing. Like, I admire you so much because you intentionally put yourself through the discomfort because you know you're going to learn and you're going to come out of it victorious and with so much growth. And I'm just so in awe by everything you've done so far in your life, everything you've have accomplished, and you truly do inspire me just by being here and sharing all of that. Um so I wanted to know, because I ask this to everyone who comes on the podcast, what does being a powerful leader mean to you?
Well, first and foremost, before being a leader, you should be a servant. You should serve your
Mm-hmm.
community. Why? Because if you come in with a servant mindset, you will, in return, learn what it is that people need so that
Mm-hmm.
you can be a better leader. Why? Because there's so many people that go into environments wanting to lead and they don't even know how to lead because they haven't taken the time to get to know where it is that people need to be led and where do they need to be led to. And so
Mm.
that is important. It's not just to lead, but to also serve so that you could be a successful leader. Because if you're not successful at leading, hello, nobody's gonna follow you. Nobody's gonna do what it is that you're telling them. But if you get the time, if you take the time to get to know those people, to see where it is that they need to be met at, and
Mm.
then lead from that perspective, they're gonna respect you so much more. So I think
Mm.
it goes hand in hand with being able to serve so that you can lead.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is so good, and I agree 100%.
Yes, girl.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have, any last piece of wisdom you'd like to share with the audience today?
Well, one of the things that is important to me and that I always like to share is that when you're creating something, make sure that it represents you and don't be afraid to stand behind what it is that you're showcasing to your audience. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you're not behind it, then your audience won't get behind you and they won't support
Mm.
you. And so it is very important to make sure that you're very clear on what it is that you're doing so that people can understand and respect where it is that you're coming from. Because one of the things that I took into this to apply this into my life back in 2018, I started my business, but I didn't give my business a face. I was always behind the computer screen. I was always behind the camera. I was always behind the websites, behind the social media content. I never gave my company a face until one day that I was it just happened that I was walking and I was like, hold up, how are people gonna follow you if they don't know who they're following? It may be uncomfortable. It may be out of your limits, or it's stretching a bit. But guess what? When you do that and you turn those things that for you may be difficult, when you decide that you want to change and flip the script against yourself and come through to show up for your business, you will not believe how other people will show through for your business because you've made a personal connection. To show someone or put someone to be the face of your brand, of your company, it gives you more results. It gives you credibility. Why? Because you've already taken out of off the table the fact that you may be somebody scamming. You're not a scammer anymore. You're legit. And so it changes up things for you. And believe it or not, even though your followers may not be interacting, it doesn't mean that they're not watching. Don't get frustrated because people don't interact with your stuff. You have to keep it real. You have to keep it transparent, because at the end of the day, it's your brand and you're the one that's bringing your brand to life. You either give it life or you either kill it.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, you either give it life or you just kill it. So no. And another thing, like a lot of times we worry about things that are not even said before they're said, and we cut ourselves short. Stop cutting yourself short.
Yes.
Show up and show through.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. Everyone needs to hear this. So where can people go to connect with you further in the online space?
Well, anyone can find me over on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, through my handle, graphically, the number 4 and the letter U. And you can also visit my website at www.graphicallyforyou.com. And if you feel that you want to text me or get in touch with me, my number is 321-325-0325. It's been a pleasure.
Damn, girl, you killed this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, girl. This was awesome.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.